moment that we're gonna fall in love. I don't care about you and him, I don't care about what has been. I only care about your soft skin, cause we're still sleeping in my head. I don't care about you and him, I don't care about what has been. I only care about your soft skin, cause we're still sleeping in my head.
Hey, hello, I'm JulieJo. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're not new here, welcome back. Today we're going to look a little more into the Illuminati Oz Media situation going on. The fact that I didn't think Illuminati could get worse, but then got 50 times worse. Watching Oz's video is so unsettling, and we're gonna kind of talk about some things from his video. And as someone who used to watch Illuminati, look up to her almost in the content creator way, I don't even know the words, I guess, of how I feel about the situation. I'm pissed. I want to get started by pointing back at some of my other videos. If you don't know what's going on, I have 3 or so videos on it. My most recent video about the Oz Media situation, about her pursuing a lawsuit against Oz Media, is up there as well for you to see. But Oz posted a video called Let's Talk, an update on Illuminati drama, and he talked about a lot. In my last video, I talked about Oz and their GoFundMe, and then some of you were like, oh, his GoFundMe is down. By the way, Oz uses he, them pronouns. The GoFundMe was taken down likely by some people with Illuminati. It's back up. We're briefly going to talk about it in this video. When I watch this, and what I think of Blair now is she is an evil, abusive person who uses her power dynamic to take advantage of other people for her gain. I'm going to give you some words that were used in this video. White collar crimes, I guess it's more than one word, crypto farm, and getting in trouble with the IRS. Those are some phrases that are throughout Oz's video, briefly talking about it, that he's going to add and talk about more in his longer video that's coming. Oz Media starts off by saying, for his safety, he needs to put a short pause on the video. He goes into it a little bit more, but he is still creating this huge video. It's over 110 pages long. Oz needs to bring income in to help him keep his house. So he's going to start his regular content that Oz hasn't really been able to do to his full extent that Oz has wanted to do because of Blair. There is a big escalation between Blair and Oz when it comes to lawsuit, that they're going to get into more. And Oz says in this video that he is fully aware that this video will likely be used in the courtroom. That's, in my opinion, why the video is scripted. As you can tell, Oz is reading off something. Oz mentions that Blair, because we talked previously about how Blair's trying to take Oz's home, that Blair is trying to foreclose on Oz's home right before Christmas. Why then? Because I think Blair is a horrible person that chooses to inflict as much pain as she possibly can on someone. Oz goes into extreme detail about why Oz is in the situation.
I've lived the last 4 months of my life with the looming threat of Blair's retaliation. And truth being, from my understanding, she could have done this as early as June. As to why Blair waited so long, I'm honestly unsure. To me, it feels like Blair is taking every course of action that she can to prevent this video from being produced, from legal threats to trying to take my home, which wouldn't be surprising, considering Blair's alleged white-collar crimes I intend to expose with evidence within my video.
There is a lot. There's a lot that is going through my mind. I'm trying not to get too angry, but you know, I'm in the same space as Blair, or was. Blair really doesn't have much of a platform anymore. Being in the same space as Blair and hearing this, watching this person, Blair, make 6 figures a month by exposing scams and bad companies and bad people while simultaneously being just as bad or worse than those people she's exposing is infuriating to me. But Oz reassures us through the next little bit that he is going to do the video, and he's using his lawyers and everything that he can to make sure that the video legally is sound. I do have an idea of those white collar crimes, and I do think they include taxes and things of that nature. And the reason I say that is because later he mentions a quote, or well, not necessarily a quote, but something that she said to him regarding the IRS. I think everyone should remember that when they started dating, because Oz and Blair were in a relationship, Oz was 20 and Blair was 28. There was a huge power dynamic, not just with age, but with the fact that Oz started working for Blair, under Blair. Blair signed Oz's checks. Blair knew everything about Oz's financial situation, and she abused it. She abused him. Here's a little bit about what he has to say about that.
In the beginning, Blair walked me into several poor financial decisions. My naivety caused me to believe her reassurances that I could handle all of the financial obligations being dropped onto my shoulders by someone more experienced in life than I was. why these obligations were placed onto me? At the time, Blair had bad credit, so all of the purchases, loans, everything was being placed in my name. This included the car that she purchased, then revoked from Wonderstruck. I was on the loan as a cosigner only because of my credit at the time. Eventually, though, the financial responsibilities that I incurred would stack up on me, building a mountain of monthly debt that would lead me into several financially tight months, and eventually just breaking. This would lead me to asking Blair, my partner, for financial help for things such as my home, which she was living in. Help from my partner, who at any given time would be making up to 30 times my monthly income. These amounts of assistance would be added to a ledger of debt. And I want to clarify again, Blair wasn't my bank. She wasn't my landlord. She was my partner at this time. This ledger also includes things such as a non-refundable design fee and land deposit on a multi-million-dollar custom home that she threatened to break up with me if I didn't agree to proceed on this with her, as well as other financial expenses that I honestly can't account for.
Hearing Oz now, I thought it was bad at the beginning, right? Obviously terrible, but it's so much worse. And as we get deeper and deeper and peel back the layers of this entire situation, Blair is so much worse than I could ever have imagined. And trust me, I thought Blair was bad from the beginning of this situation. Things just pile on top of each other, and legally, I believe Blair could very well be in jail. He continues.
I can't account for, nor even come close to this number when digging through my own finances. This ledger would creep into the range of $180,000, an insurmountable amount where I don't even understand how she got there. That number ballooned higher and higher, the number ever increasing, and I never questioned it out of guilt for needing help. Guilt from her telling everyone, from her friends to my friends, to her employees, to hell, even her Discord staff, about my finances, oftentimes unprompted. Guilt involving the fact that everyone I interacted with on a day-to-day basis looked down on me for her words towards me. My own partner, the person who was supposed to be my other half, was actively putting me in a position where she was chipping away at my mental health. I was afraid to tell anyone what was happening because she had convinced me that I was a parasite, that I avoided telling anyone who could have helped me see what was happening out of fear of further confirmation, more eyes looking down on me.
When you're around Blair, she's in complete control of you. Blair specifically picks out, from what I've noticed, certain people who are younger than her, more ignorant, and with a lot less experience. And I say that all respectfully, but Blair does this so that she can take advantage of those people, like Wonderstruck, like Oz Media. She specifically chooses victims that she is capable of manipulating without putting too much effort into it. I want to let you know that Oz's video is almost 20 minutes, so obviously I'm not adding in everything or even near everything, but these were just some of the points I wanted to hit. There is a couple more points I want to hit that I think are some of the biggest things that stuck out to me, so let's watch.
When I was 23 and Blair was nearly 31, Blair, with her lawyer, would create an honestly quite confusing legal document for me to sign where I would agree to pay back her debt. Blair, being the person who signed my checks, knew that I couldn't afford legal representation. Blair also knew that the $2,500 that she was having me pay monthly towards that debt was almost as much as I was making monthly working for her. This would mean that I could barely pay for anything else in my life other than the debt that I owed her. Everything I made working for her was going right back into her pocket. Blair would bring me to her lawyer's office, put me in a room alone with the two of them, with papers in front of me. Papers which I foolishly signed for a myriad of reasons, ranging from Blair expressing that this would mend our relationship, that it was the right thing for me to do, that this would also protect her legally and prevent her from getting into trouble with the IRS. She also would describe to me, and while I can't remember if this exact word was ever used, she essentially explained to me that because she used company funds to assist me, that she had committed embezzlement. And by converting the amount that I owed her into a loan with her company, this would save her skin legally.
Oz continues this conversation and mentions that Oz's mother was incarcerated for the same kinds of crimes that Blair is saying she committed. Blair knew that as well. Oz mentions crypto farms and that Blair had a crypto farm, which I find super intriguing considering she has made videos specifically about crypto, like this one called Rubet, crypto's fastest growing scam, corporate casket. So we have Blair taking advantage of someone who's 8 years younger than her, who barely graduated high school a year and a half prior to starting to date her, while she allegedly has committed several crimes and uses this person to pretty much put the majority of the blame on, which allows herself to get away with some of that. She specifically had the intention of ruining Oz's finances for her gain. Not only that, but it seems that she set just about everything up in a way that if Oz and her were to ever be on the outs, that she could destroy him. I think that there is way more to this story, which we obviously know that, considering Oz has an huge video coming for us. I have a feeling that this video coming is going to shock us even more than we could ever imagine. I have a feeling Blair might be going to jail sometime soon. My only hope in this situation is justice. That's what I want. I want justice and healing, especially for Wonderstruck and Oz. Blair talks about manipulation, manipulators, and yet she's the biggest one. I'm going to end with this little bit from Oz.
For further future transparency, I intend to provide updates with my GoFundMe, which will include progress updates and invoices when applicable. I intend to be as transparent as I legally can throughout all of this, and of course, I wanted to thank everyone for their patience with me.
I wanted to end that so that you understand that this GoFundMe is legitimate, that this GoFundMe will support Oz, and Oz is going to be very open about the GoFundMe. I know sometimes people are nervous about giving to GoFundMes, and I understand that, and if you don't want to, that's fine. If you give to a GoFundMe, I feel like you're giving to it knowing the possibility of someone could scam you. However, I don't think that's the case. I am enraged, and I tried to keep my cool throughout this video, but honestly, I feel extremely betrayed, and I think everyone on YouTube who has ever watched Blair or looked up to Blair in any way, shape, or form feels absolutely betrayed. And honestly, I'm a little embarrassed personally, even though that makes zero sense, that I ever supported this person, this abuser. And if there are people that still support Blair, they are living in a delusion. I hope Blair gets what's coming to her. You enjoyed the video? Feel free to like it, subscribe if you want. I'll try to keep you updated and give any updates that I can if through my community tab, or if there's enough, I'll do another video. Please go watch Oz Media's video. I will have it linked below as well as the GoFundMe. There is stuff that I didn't share that's all throughout that video. I only shared little parts that stuck out to me the most. Thanks for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Show you what I'm all about. Make up for what we lost. Tonight is the night that we're gonna fall in love. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about yours.